Hey,
There we
welcome
go.
to Geek Freaks. Today we've got a great actor on board with Chris Maher. We're going to be talking about Blowback, Mojave Diamonds, No Dogs and Nova. He's got a packed slate, a killer backstory, and honestly, might be one of the busiest guys in indie films right now. How are you doing, Chris?
I am so good. Thank you so much for asking. How are you doing, Frank?
I am doing good. I'm doing good. AC is working well, so we can't complain.
Mine too. I can hear it
Yeah.
going. It is a sweaty day.
Oh yeah. So let's start off with your early days. Let's go ahead and get started with those early days back in Omaha, Bluff. Um, you started acting pretty young, right?
I got started acting on stage when I was in about junior high,
Okay.
but I didn't get started professionally acting until about 10 years ago or so.
Yeah, yeah. In junior high, did you feel like there was like something there, like this might be something for me, or were you just kind of just checking some boxes?
It was a thing. One of my best friends was in it, and at the time, I was really geeky, nerdy, shrimp kid,
Hmm.
and I pretty much did anything and everything he did. And then we got into the choir, and then he was doing some plays and I was doing some plays. I did some plays, and I absolutely loved that. I was like,
Yeah,
oh wow, this is great. I'm getting to be up here, do all this fun stuff, and I think I needed the attention at the time too. So that helped to do that. I was excited for that. So I think that's kind of where it really happened in junior high.
yeah.
Got excited for that stuff.
And then looking at your future from that point, you almost went to the veterinarian route. What shifted you from that route?
I think at a certain age, I realized if I were a vet, I would have to euthanize animals
Yeah,
and
right.
dogs. And, fast forward 20 years, now I'm making a movie about No Dogs Die, which is where we have a serial killer who kills people who hurt dogs or want to hurt dogs or are bad dogs.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, okay. Now how turntables have
Yeah.
turned.
Full circle. So
Oh,
then
for
going
sure.
on in your young career, you ended up with a scholarship to go study in China. You're working on economics and business. This doesn't sound like a man who's interested in the arts. So when did you want to make that change over to the arts again? And what was that experience like? Is there anything you pulled from that you use today?
Absolutely. So I actually made the dramatic change from the arts to economics and business
Okay.
because I was getting a lot of pressure from, family and stuff like that.
Well, yeah.
Whoa, do something real. You need to learn business. But also,
Right.
when I was in the arts program at my school, they like the teachers were just really not big fans of me. Well, one in
Mm,
particular. And I was warned about her by advisors. They're like, listen, she really hates men, especially straight white men. She's like,
yeah.
we don't like, and I was like, no, that's impossible. Like, I love everybody. I care about everybody. I love acting. This is my life. It's what I want to be. And
Yeah.
then, first day in class, she's already like, you need to get. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh no, no. Like, I love that. These are my friends. And
Yeah.
and then she was going to actively fail me in the class. And I
Mm,
was like, you know what? Okay, I get it. I see that there is no road here for that, and it doesn't matter. So I was like, I'll do something useful because I was looking at other actors at the time, particularly Denzel Washington, who he has a business degree. He went into the business.
yeah.
Um, and from there, I was just like, well, I'll learn business, I'll learn law and policy, and I wanted to learn travel, become a diplomat. And I was like, and then when later on, I will go into that and learn business and business of acting and business of film. And now I am, in the business of film and
Yeah.
TV and as an actor. And as an actor, I
And a
think
producer too.
the most important and producer and the most important thing as an actor is, yeah, well, it is incredibly important to have talent and skill and the ability. But one of the more important things I've found is a business acumen because it is a business. I am, a business, a 1099 worker, self-employed, as they say.
Yeah.
And so being able to market oneself, know and understand business strategy is incredibly important to become truly successful in the long run, I believe, and from what I've been seeing in other successful actors.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're over there in China, you're working on this, and eventually at some point you go to modeling. How did that come about?
Um, well, I was in China. I was studying in China, and then when I had come back, a friend of mine from high school had actually said, "Hey, Chris, I'm doing a fashion show. It is to support lemurs in Madagascar. I want you to come and audition for this. Like, I would love for you to
Yeah.
do this because, you're coming back. I think that's cool." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I've got nothing better to do. Sounds like fun, get on stage or whatever, do that." So I did that and I got it. And not only did I book it, but she made me be like, had me be the lead male model for this. We got a ton of
Wow.
professional photos to promote the show that we were doing, as well as we got on TV, like the talk shows and other things on a local
Hmm.
scale in Omaha. And then the show was actually at the zoo, the Henry Dorley Zoo in Omaha, which is surprisingly one of the biggest and best zoos in the world, interestingly enough. And
Yeah.
so it's like from there, and it just kind of did that, reignited that spark after years
Yeah.
of traveling abroad. I was like, wow, I missed this. Like, this was fun. Yeah, I'll just do this as like a little fun hobby on the side. And then one thing led to another.
Yeah.
The modeling went to acting and getting involved because it goes very much hand in hand. And it was a blast.
Yeah.
We had
That side
fun. It
hobby
was
is
a
now
good
your
time.
full career. That's incredible.
And it's a full time.
You've got
And
a lot
here
of.
I am. Now I'm here, went from modeling to hanging out with Frank on Geek Freaks. It's great.
There we go. You've got a lot going on right now. And we were just talking about your IMDb. It's as thick as hell. But right now, one of the big things is Nova, which was a short and now is a going to become a feature that's currently in production. What's the story behind Nova? Let's kind of get introduced to this project a little bit.
So Nova, do you want to know the story of Nova or this behind the scenes story?
Give me the elevator pitch of Nova and then how you decided to go from
Sure.
short to feature.
Sure. Nova, I would say, is a science fiction romance.
Hmm.
So it is how to bridge love across time and space. A man goes off to study an anomaly in space from in the 60s, and he crash lands in modern day. And his goal is to try to get back to his family that he loves, who are still in the 60s or their 60s. I mean, they're maybe a little bit in current day, but
Yeah.
it's not who he left 60 years ago, 70
Right.
years ago. So it's how to bridge that love and that gap between time and space,
Hmm.
to put the very simple way to do that.
Yeah. To get
I
people
guess
wanting to
it's a
watch it.
simple pitch.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we really decided was we found, um, so I got on board with an amazing actress, Natalie Veeder,
Hmm.
who is also I'm starring with in Boardwalk Winter. Natalie brought me on board to the short film project Nova because I was reading for her with her on the auditions, and the director said, "Hey, who was that guy reading with you? I hope it's not like a brother or cousin, because it could get weird if I have him audition for your love interest in this
Yeah.
role." And so they had me audition, and they're like, "Yeah, you two are absolutely it." So we went into production, we made it, and the team was absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
We took this to festivals, and the
Yes.
primary festival we did, the Orlando Independent Festival, it took home Best Picture, Best Editing, Best Director. Natalie won Best Actress. It was the best sound, best makeup. I got nominated for the Best Actor, but I lost to another guy who played a guy with Tourette's, and I was like, no, no, no. He
Yeah.
played the guy with Tourette's. He did really good. Like he
Yeah.
did great. I, I'm not down. I get it. I'm just a dude in space,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
did absolutely amazing. It was getting praise all over, and we just decided like, hey, you guys, we'd be crazy to not make this into something bigger and more, a bigger passion project on a feature scale. And
Hmm.
so now we are looking to get into production either late this year or early next year. But we're really excited.
For Nova, you're working in front and behind the camera, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So once again, there comes that business acumen of essentially just connecting a few dots, using some connections to bring to help get this funded and to help get this into life.
Right.
So once we get started on a solid, once we get fill up the cast and fill up the script entirely, then we'll begin to take it to the right places that it belongs. Um, And once we finish this, we plan to take this as far as we possibly can. And we're really excited.
Mhm.
Everybody's pretty excited to get on board with this so far. Can't say who
There,
all the cast is yet, but
no spoilers, man.
we're getting there. No spoilers just yet. We can't officially announce any just yet,
Yeah.
but we'll get there.
There is so many struggles and challenges with creating a short film. What new challenges are particularly difficult for you guys right now going into that feature role?
Oh, absolutely. Uh, a short is one thing, but a feature is an entirely new and different monster.
Yeah.
People have a tough time getting short together, raising money for shorts. They have a tough time getting cast for shorts and paying crew because shorts are essentially either, a collaborative or passion project or considered like a concept for a much larger project to be done later.
Hmm.
Short films, we shot our short film for 2.5 days, and it was great. It was a wonderful collaborative effort for everybody on board. I think everybody had a fun time, which is important, also important. But it's at the same time very stressful to try and put something like that together, even for 2.5 days, for 3 days. Now multiply that stress of a short film times, we say 3 days, multiply that times 10. Now we've
Yeah.
got 30 days of logistics of hundreds of people to come on board from cast to crew, as well as the entire post process, which is a very long process. The editing is, will take 3 months roughly just to get a pretty solid cut, and then another 3 to 6 months of getting all of the, everything else, all the fine tuning, everything in store ready for theaters, ready for festivals, ready for distribution. It's a long process. But the nice thing about a short is you can film it, you edit 10 minutes of the short, 10 to 15 minutes of the short, and you can just boom, put it out there on,
Yeah.
YouTube or Vimeo or release it in smaller festivals, and it's much easier. Features are just big scale shorts.
Right. Expenses, time, and a whole lot more people. You with you, now being more involved with the post production, on the producer side, has that affected your performance as an actor? Are you trying to maybe make the job easier for the editors or something like that?
Oh, I don't care about making the job easier for editors.
They get
Just
paid.
kidding. Just kidding, Nate and editors. I love you guys. You're the best.
Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah, actually, one of the things that I love about being involved, like in the process from front to the back, from all sorts of the process, you
Mhm.
understand a lot more of what it takes for it. And when it comes to editing, of course, you have to really consider a lot of things for the edit. Um, for example, timing of your speech or just how things go. Sometimes, you know, people who are newer or from theater, know that his camera might mess up on something, and then they're like, "Oh no, now we have to redo everything and do." No, say, "Oh, I flirted my line. Oh, flirted my line." Now, after knowing the real process, I just redoing the line. Okay, it's just that easy. It's just stay in
Yeah.
the moment. And because as now in editing, after you can just be like, oh, well, just cut. All right, that's out. You just do a
Yeah.
quick shot to the other person, and no, the audience is none the wiser. And
Oh,
it's
the
great.
editors love you.
I don't know. Because there's also going to be a whole lot of weird stuff of me, like, yeah. So I try to, with the clapper. I don't know
The
what
clapper,
the
yeah.
slate. The clapper. I'm always messing around with that when they're doing it. So they'll do like, all right, and they're like, and here, scene four, volume B, okay, and I'll just put my eyes in there like, there. So whoever's editing it is just like, what
Yeah.
the heck is this guy doing? This is
Well, frankly, like I still think of like the old school editors where it's like some smoky room, all dark, some guy that's like 12 hours on a project and he needs a laugh, so you're helping him out, you know? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I try. I mean, it's still pretty much the same thing, just
Yeah.
digital now,
Yeah.
and less smoke probably.
Probably a little bit less. Yeah. Now,
Who knows?
you're a finance guy back in the day, and now you're a producer. Uh, can you kind of touch in a little bit on that? Those old studying of economics, stuff like that. How are you implementing that into producing?
Sure. Well, luckily, as an economist, I learned to become a pretty good investor back in the
Okay.
day.
Yeah.
Um, and so, and that was like through stocks or other different things, and then run business. And I was lucky to have a lot of success in stock and in crypto as well. I am a crypto
Yeah.
bro. Sorry for those at home. But with that, a lot of those profits and things that I would take from there, I could then learn to start investing in like my own projects, my own short films, and then from there, investing in the larger films that have actual expected returns. So it's possible in indie films, especially to invest in indie films with
Oh,
some
really?
sort of expected return. After being in it for a long time, there's a whole lot to learn. It's a whole different beast of indie film investing, and it's very risky. I tell people don't do it unless you know what you're doing. If anybody at home wants to know, please feel free to hit me up.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do like Q&As about investing. But even that investing got me more involved on the development side, the editing side, the producing side, the distribution side, all of the and getting involved in every aspect. Because now it's like now when I say it's my project, as you can say that as an actor, but now some of these projects are like this is my project. Like it's actual, I'm putting this together here and there and connecting all these pieces. We're making all these things happen. It is not easy. It's stressful. I do not like
Yeah.
to produce. Because I like to sit back and be treated like real nice, like the actor. Like,
Yeah.
oh, where's my trailer? Can I have? Oh, I don't see the only blue M&Ms here. I just wanted my
Yeah.
only blue M&Ms.
Yeah, the green room
Like,
diva.
exactly, that's me.
Yeah. Well,
But I mean, it's a journey. I'll tell you.
yeah. As an actor, you've done comedy, drama, actions, sci-fi, even horror. What genre is that sweet spot for you?
Ooh. I love doing a lot of action stuff because I love
Okay.
being involved in that. But I feel like comedy is kind of where I'm at because as you can tell already from on here, I'm like an ADD dude who's like "Boo, boo, 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 gabagoo." And
Right.
I did Second City in the past, and
Oh,
being on
yeah.
stage. The fun thing about being on stage is you get to be really big and like fun and be like goop dab goop goop doo and be big characters. And with
Yeah.
comedy, that's kind of where it's at, and you could do that a lot more on screen. You can be bigger in comedy on camera. But on camera, in more things like dramatic roles or action, dramatic roles particularly, and horror, it's important to be smaller on camera.
Okay.
So that for me as an actor is really tough because as you can see, once again, I'm the ADD guy moving all over. You have to imagine. So Leonardo DiCaprio is the king of this, if you want to imagine this. A lot of where his power comes in is when that frame is right
Hmm.
here.
Okay.
When the frame is right there and it's that intense music, and really you have a mic right here, so you
Yeah.
can just whisper. All you have to do is whisper and be very intense. You don't blink, you don't move your head because if you move your head, now you're even a little, you're out
Out
of
of the
shot
frame. Yeah.
and out of frame. Once again, where learning editing, framing, and things like that
Yeah.
comes in handy. So for me, that's really tough. And it's really tough because you want to emote. If it's a big emotional scene, but your close up is right here, you have to make it really soft and quiet and intense, not blinking and not moving. But in reality, if it's like a big demand, you're like, what is going on? What's happening?
Right.
That's how you would really be. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of that difference. So I
You got to
think
kind of do like the Oscar bait moments. You're trying to constantly shoot for those Oscar bait moments where it's like, oh, this is the part they showed at the
yes,
Oscars. Yeah. Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, entirely. So if you get
Yeah.
a chance, now that you like kind of think about that,
I'm
next time you
totally
watch a
looking for
Leo
that.
movie, you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, he didn't blink at all. He didn't
Immediately
even
I
move.
go to Inception. There's so many times where he's just like
Yes.
thinking about his wife, whatever. I'm like, now I'm totally there. Okay. I'm gonna keep an eye out for that. Uh,
Yeah.
with the action
And people
movies.
at home, now you won't be able to watch a Leo movie
Yeah.
ever again the same after that. Now you're like, you can't blink because
Now we're too
you can't
focused on
move.
that where I can't even pay attention to the story. Uh, so you work on your own stunts in the past. What's the craziest stunt
Mhm.
you've pulled off in the past? Something dangerous.
Ooh. I think I did something fun in Mojave Diamonds where I jumped out of a moving car and rolled
Oh,
while we were
wow.
doing a car chase out in the desert. That was like one of my most favorite days of all time on set,
That
I'll
is so
say.
cool. How do you practice for that?
Oh, I just did a lot of weird stuff as a kid, bro. That's that's about all. I did a lot of things that I shouldn't
Yeah.
admit.
A night,
Well established.
a lifetime of being a nightmare for your parents will make you qualified for jumping out of a car. That's good
They
stuff.
don't even know. I grew up in a time without cell phones,
Oh yeah.
pre-cell phone cameras,
Yeah.
So we were always doing stuff. Like I used to jump out of trees and other moving vehicles or like jump off of bikes and just do crazy stunts as a kid. And then you just
Yeah.
kind of take that into doing that. And then the film stunts is like a lot of things are done in camera.
Hmm.
So it's so much safer than what I'm used to. So I'm like, this
Yeah.
is great. This is so easy. Like, oh, this is super. Uh,
Let's put a pad
but
here,
I
and
would
Chris is
love
over there
to.
like, dirt looks soft. I'm fine.
What do you need a pad for? That's
Yeah.
crazy. We get pads? You guys are getting paid? You guys are getting pads?
Yeah. Oh goodness. Uh, Rejection is constant in this business. There's no way around it. How do you stay grounded and positive? Because looking at your IMDb, it's not like you ever take a break. How do you keep pushing along?
Because I'm broke.
It's a job. You got to do what you got to do.
It's my it's the job.
Yeah.
People think that I mean, well, yeah, that acting, that being in the movies, being in the TV, or for me especially commercials is where a lot of my bread and butter is.
Hmm.
They think that that is the job, but truly the job is auditioning. The
Right.
true job is auditioning, and you have to constantly and constantly audition because the second you're done with a movie, the second you're done with a TV show, you are now unemployed. You are
Yeah.
unemployed, but the thing
Yeah.
is, you have to constantly be auditioning. And as an actor, my goal is to get to a point where I never have to audition again.
Is that starting to come
To
along for
where
you now, or are you starting to see your little release?
things are starting to happen. I'm really fortunate and excited for that. For example, I have a film coming up called Hack Job that we're going to be filming, I believe, in October. It's going
Hmm.
to be directed by a good friend and colleague of mine, Luca Petruno. So we actually did a movie together called Vindicator, and we're just now about to distribute that. So that's another one to look out for.
There we go.
I've known, but so luckily, I mean, it's not that I'm a recognized actor, but after you work so long and many times, and you've worked with directors multiple times, and they know you so well, they're like, oh, I know exactly like what Chris can do. I know exactly Chris's range. I know exactly the characters for Chris. Or, for example, for me, I was very, very fortunate that in Mojave Diamonds, I knew the writer, and the writer had seen my acting in Blowback. They'd seen my acting in Project Legion. And he
Yeah.
was like, hey, I've got to write a script right now, and I'm writing a role for you. Like this role isn't being written for like a random character. This is going to be you. It's you.
Yeah.
You're the character. You're the guy. And that was one of the best feelings in the world to get that, to be like, I'm writing a character for you. And then we go into production like 2 months later. I was like, that's amazing. That's the best,
In this
the best thing.
industry, it's nice to have a paycheck you know is coming. That's incredible.
Yeah, paychecks are nice. We love paychecks here. Yeah,
Big fans of those. Speaking of that,
yeah,
actually,
especially
with do you see real quick? Uh, are auditions paid for? Because I know that like Dropout TV right now has been doing that. That's not an industry norm, right?
no auditions are paid for because it's essentially an interview for a job. Do you get paid
Okay,
to interview for a job?
right.
However, I will say along the lines of that, on union auditions, if you go into a third, fourth, or fifth, or so on
I see.
audition or round of callbacks where they're like, okay, we want you here, we need you in here, they will start to pay for those auditions.
Yeah.
And they'll either pay for audition time, and if they really are interested in seeing you, they'll fly you to wherever and say, we need to do an in-person reading or on-camera test.
Hmm.
So I've had those. I have had those before, which I've signed NDAs for, and I can't talk about.
Yeah.
but we did like I was for some what was called screen tests. It was essentially like super advanced round of casting where I was flown out to LA. I was put up for the night before in a nice place. The next day they had us on set pretty much in what would be a normal outfit, but it was just me on the set. Just they're like, all right, we just want to do on camera test sort of deal and see what you could do, and rather than just filming at home, so we know how it works, how you look here, and et cetera. And they paid for all of it. They paid for everything, just like a normal rate, as if you were almost day of filming. But and then they're like, okay, cool, great. Well, this doesn't even shoot until next year, a
Yeah.
year later. But right
Wow.
now we're trying to get all of our people lined up and cared for, and then so that's one of those that I was like, if I get that, that's a nice hefty paycheck. But even then, if I didn't, I'm still like, all right, well, I still got paid to go out there and audition and just do the thing and show what we're capable of.
Is something like that
So
because going to the screen test is so high, it feels like it's pretty high up in the echelon of the process. And it sounds like
oh
for
yeah.
this project is a very pretty substantial project. Um, does even if you don't get the role, does that still improve sort of your resume? Like I've done screen tests kind of thing.
No, because it's not something that you can really put on
Advertise.
because you could be like,
Yeah, that
I
sucks.
auditioned, for example, I have not auditioned for Marvel, but you're like, I auditioned for Marvel. They're like, cool, but did you get it? No. Oh
No.
well, then
I was in the
well,
same building as Kevin Feige though.
well, oh, congrats on putting your failure on your resume
That
there.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Oh
I'm
man.
praising you.
You
But
would
no,
think though, it's
I
like, well,
don't.
you could keep your cool in a stressful situation. Like that seems like something that'd be kind of valuable to them if they're looking for a fresh actor. But yeah, it's a tough
Yeah.
business.
Oh, tell me about it, Frank. Tell me
Yeah.
about it.
So let's do that cheesy thing that all podcasters do. Is there any advice that you'd give to a new actor?
To a brand new actor, speaking of TikTok lives, hello, my friends on live. I'm always talking about this.
Yeah.
So, as a brand new actor, the very first and foremost thing you absolutely need as an actor is a very good, high quality professional acting headshot. That's just a picture of you here, just your face, right? Just your
Yeah.
face, maybe a little bit of the shoulders, but just your face. Don't over makeup, don't over edit, high quality lighting in the front. Get one moody for the acting,
Hmm.
and then one smiling for commercials. Haha, okay. Those are the two headshots that you absolutely need to get anywhere because your entire resume is right here. This is your real resume. After that, then take acting classes. I don't care how much you feel like you're an amazing actor. I don't care how long you've worked. All working actors, the second they're not working, the second they get time, everybody is eager to go to classes. Classes will take you from here to there, but not only are classes fun, classes are educational. They network. You get to network. You get to meet a lot of people who are in the same category as you, who are working hard to also toward these games, and you learn a lot. You can learn a lot about the industry, and that's your that's who you want to be. For example, when I was in Second City, I was in Second City and taking the improv classes, and one of the classes I became friends with an actor named Harry Belden. um, Harry Belden and I, he was super cool. I was doing some sketch shows for Second City at the time, and we needed another person. I was like, I know exactly who to bring in. I
Yeah.
brought in this guy from class. They're like, I don't know who he is. I don't know. Can he do well? I'm like, no, trust me. This guy's great. He's awesome. He's hilarious. He's got an awesome look. Give him a shot. And they did. And they're like, great. Yeah, totally. Well, Chris says you did well, so, or can do well, so he does. And then Harry Belden, you're welcome to look him up now, but he is now the new voice of Morty in Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you meet people who are on that path and doing it, and he's still cool. He just got married. So if Harry, if you're watching, congratulations on getting
Yeah.
married. And so that's one of the examples of people you go to class with, in like in Second City. And same with the classes when I was taking classes in Miami. I was taking like little backroom class type things or like at some of the casting directors. And I would be in there with classes with people who had millions of followers on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. They had their own shows where people became, you get become friends and network with people who are on Disney. They're on, Nickelodeon, or they're getting in these movies big left and right that you would never meet these people outside of these classes unless you're on set and you're there at a common cost. So
Yeah.
take classes. That's the biggest thing as an actor. Take classes and continue to learn.
Side fun thing. Shout out to Harry on my end too, because by far the most
Hey,
popular thing, most viral thing I've ever done was showcasing his new voice work for Rick and Morty. It blew up. It was
really,
like my
yeah.
most viral video is actually of Harry. So that was pretty cool to like, oh yeah, I know
Should get
him.
him on the show.
That would probably be very smart for me, actually. I probably should reach out to him. That's a good idea. Yeah, that blew up.
Yeah, I'll hit him up for you. I'll be like, yo, dude,
Oh, that'd be
I
cool.
was on a podcast.
Yeah.
Hop on. We talked. I'll be like, we were talking about you. We were
Yeah.
talking about you. He'd be
Force
like,
him
yo,
to listen.
talking
Like, was it
smack,
talking shit or not? Yeah, make sure you make him listen.
talking smack.
So again, you got a very busy slate. What are some of the upcoming projects that you have that you want people to start looking up and looking forward to?
I guess the closest projects that will be coming out would be Vindicator. We
Yeah.
definitely want you to take a look at that. I'm not sure for a release date, but right now you can pre-order Boardwalk Winter.
Yep.
It comes out officially August 5th. So you can pre-order the DVD, have it sent right to your house. It's a romantic comedy about a girl who's dying
Ooh,
and she wants to fulfill a bucket list. We don't focus too much on the death part, more about the,
the bucket list.
making light of things
Yeah.
and have a good time. So it's starring myself, Natalie Veter, and Veron. Oh, what was her name? I just forgot her name from Saturday Night Live. Uh,
Oh man.
Miss Jackson. Um, are you on IMDb right there?
I am.
Not Veronica. But it's something Victoria Jackson. Sorry. So it's Victoria Jackson, Natalie Veter, and myself
Yeah.
in
Victoria
Boardwalk
Jackson playing
Winter,
Mrs.
and
Kellogg.
it's
That seems cool.
Miss Kellogg. She's hilarious in it.
Yeah.
We drop a whole lot of one-liners and a whole bunch of stupid fun comedy. It's a good little, it's a good little rom-com with
Yeah.
bit of a sad sadness to it, but not too bad.
Well, yeah. And that'll be out 2 weeks after this episode's out now. So make sure you guys are following the links in the description to follow up on
Oh,
that.
perfect timing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can send you a link to that so you know where to go and
Perfect.
share it with
Yeah.
your friends if that's cool.
Yeah, of course. Well, Chris, I really appreciate you coming on here and telling us everything that you got going on. It's been really great talking to you, man. I appreciate it.
Hey man, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
Yeah. All right, everybody. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to check out Chris's work, especially Nova, and head over to see what's ever. Let me do it again. Hey, TikTok, guess what? That's why you
Cut.
edit podcast. I was trying to get in Broadway, Boardwalk Winter in there too. It's not written down on my thing, so it's like, oh shoot. Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, it's my bad. All right. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure you check out Chris's work, especially Nova and Boardwalk Winter, as it heads into production. You can find him on Instagram at Chris Fredma. I'll make sure the links are in the description. And as always, rate and review the show, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
See you, everybody. It's a cut. Can we redo that? See you, everybody. Have a great